Hello folks, how are you all doing? Welcome to Architecting in Cloud session. It's an introductory session and I am Muthu Kumar. I'm going to be the instructor for today's session. So I'll go ahead with the introduction on AWS, what it is and what we do, and the course content, what it's how it's designed. Yeah. At the end of the introductory session, I'll try to answer them. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Again, let me introduce myself. I am Muthu Kumar. You can address me as Muthu. I have a total of 14 plus years of IT experience and working on cloud for past like 4 to 5 years. I am working in cloud for big data and analytics technologies. I am using it. Here's my quick introduction. This is my LinkedIn profile where you can check further details about myself. Okay. In Architecting in Cloud, we are going to specifically learn about Amazon Web Services. There are multiple providers available, cloud providers. We are going to learn about Amazon Web Services. Mainly, it's an IaaS, infrastructure as a service. Okay, and how it works. Generally, the class is live online class, and I'll be presenting it. And the class will get recorded, and there's a separate LMS available, learning management system, where all the ticket management and the class recordings, it will be uploaded. Even after the session, it will be available. You can verify it even after the session gets over. And there's a 24/7 support available in case of any queries or clarifications required while doing the hands-on or assignments or the final project when you do. That will be handled by the 24/7 support. You can drop a ticket, mail, raise a ticket, or call them and find out what's the solution for that. And each module you will have a quiz program. It's built into the LMS system so that you can verify how much you have learned and how confident you are. At each course, at the end of like the 8 modules, basically it's a 8 module course which goes for 24 hours, that is 3 hours per session. Basically 4 weekends it goes. There will be a project work, and you will be submitting the project that will be considered as the completion of this particular course. And the certificate, it will be verifiable certificate. After completing the project, you will be getting a verifiable certificate. You can add it to your LinkedIn profile or resume, and it's authentic, and it can be verified by the employer. Okay, all right. So again, once again, for the benefit of people who joined a little late, I'm just going to provide the Twitter handle. You can use Edureka in for any questions, clarifications you have. Okay. For you can use the hashtag Ask Edureka. Right. Well. All right, let's get started. So objective of this particular session is about understand what cloud computing is, and there are various attributes, service models, deployment models available, and we'll be discussing and debating a lot in detail with multiple use cases, real life use cases, everything in the real life in the actual project. And I'll just go over in the high level, explain at high level what they are and what we will be learning. And we will have a small introduction about Amazon Web Services, and typical use cases where it can be used, and various service offering within Amazon. There are almost like 45 services. We will be learning almost like all the important services that are required to complete the certification, AWS certification. AWS as such gives the certification, Solution Architect certification. The course is aligned towards that particular certification. And at the end, I'll try to show a small demo by starting an instance, by creating an instance, so that you guys get confidence like how powerful AWS is. Right? You might have heard about the term SMAC, Social, Mobility, Analytics, and Cloud. For social mobile analytics, now if you look at the different eras in IT industry, I should say we are in the SMAC era. Okay, where social, mobile, and analytics is going to dominate. At least this particular decade, it's going to dominate, and we need a cloud infrastructure that's going to be the base for all these three pillars. Cloud is going to be the base, where cloud will provide the infrastructure, and there are multiple flavors available. You have infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. In detail, pros and cons, what it is, everything we'll discuss more in detail in the actual session. But if you ask anyone, like almost like 50-60% of the people, generally they think cloud is a huge or massive storage. Okay, but that was the case almost like 7-8 years back, but now it's totally a different scenario. It's not just a storage. Any any IT infrastructure that you need, whether it is a system with any operating system, or any amount of hard disk, or any amount of storage, or like assume you need 100 systems for your analytics using a big data platform. You can get 100 systems within a minute or two with whatever the configuration that you need, any type of configuration, and pay only for what you are using it. Say 100 systems, if you are getting it and you're using it for 2 hours, the complete cluster, you will end up paying for 200 hours. So everything will be built based on the hourly basis, and for example, storage will be based on like how much data you are storing it. So in simple, I can say like we have crossed across this ice age, iron age, industrial age, information age, and participation age. I should say like earlier, like now, before getting into this Mac era, everyone started contributing or participating. If you say information age, that's where like the internet boom happened, and everyone like able to connect together and share the information. In participation age, not only human beings, even sensors, machines, take anything, Internet of Things, like it's everyone started participating, started giving sharing information, and all this information, the huge or massive amount of information, needs to be stored and analyzed. That's where the business demand is arising, and we will be using cloud for this particular solving this particular business problem. Okay, this is the official definition about cloud computing, and it's a form of standardized IT-based capability, such as like internet-based service, software, or IT infrastructure. Take anything, whether like for example Microsoft Office 365. Again, that runs on cloud. I can have n number of accounts for in my office. Like if 20 people going to join, and if I want to use Microsoft Office 365 for 20 people for just for 1 month, I can sign up, use it for a month, and discard it. I don't need to worry about that, right? So anything like IT based capability, whether it's like software or infrastructure, everything we can get it, and it will be available 24/7, and you can make it to scale automatically. When I say scale automatically, say for example any website at the night, the load will be very less, and the daytime the load will be higher. So what you can do, you can increase your capacity of the servers which can handle the request. Okay, all right. I'm seeing some questions. What I'll do after having the logical completion, I'll answer those questions. Yeah, all right. So the main thing is the infrastructure, like which can scale automatically, and based on the demand adjust. When I say scale, and the infrastructure will be more elastic. When I say elastic, assume it's a rubber band. You can stretch it, and once you leave it, it will automatically shrink it back, right? The same way, you can stretch your infrastructure capacity from like say 2 servers to 10 servers when the load is higher, and whenever the load goes down, you can automatically make it to go down, shrink down. Those type of capabilities very well built into the cloud. Okay, and the other important stuff is either pay per use or advertising based. When I say pay per use, only pay for what you are using it, or like whatever the promotion they have advertised, based on that we will be using. And there will be a interface provided to you, either like through web or through any APIs. It will be provided where you don't need to depend on the customer support of the cloud provider. Okay, this is applicable to any cloud, whether it is Amazon Web Services or Google Compute Engine or Microsoft Azure, or take any cloud provider. The same thing is applicable. And here we are going to immediately after like a couple of slides, we'll start jump into the specifics of AWS. All right, okay, let's proceed a little quicker, and we will be understanding. If you look at if we ask like 4 or 5 blindfolded man to touch the elephant and identify what it is. Okay, whoever is touching the rope, I mean, whoever's touching the tail, they'll say it's a rope. Whoever's touching stomach, they'll say it's a wall. So it depends. Like unless they get the 360-degree view or 720-degree view of the elephant, they cannot say this is an elephant. Okay, and depending on the perspective, what they had worked earlier. Everyone has like for example, if someone worked in the storage area more towards that, then the person will call cloud as like it's mainly used for the storage purpose. If you asked any big data guy for any analytics purpose, they'll say it's more of an infrastructure which gives elastic infrastructure where you can scale up or scale down for whatever the need. Based on your need, you can scale up and scale down as well. So that's what they're going to say, and we will make this clear. For example, at the end of this particular course, you will be clear saying, okay, these are all the facilities or functionalities available within Amazon Web Services, and these are all the things you can use. These are the functionalities you can use to solve your business problems. Okay, that's what we will be covering it as a part of this course. And this is the Gartner hype cycle. You can see infrastructure already it's reaching the stabilization. This is called the stabilization plateau or stabilization area, where every technology reaches its peak, it goes down, and once it becomes survivable or it's very stable, it will be getting into this stabilization period. Okay, plateau of productivity. You can say now everyone started using cloud for their production purpose. I've seen like almost like I should say cloud for any infrastructure. It's assume say you're going to host a website, a new website. It's going to be really very hard to buy infrastructure, and it's going to take months to get all the approval, get the infrastructure, do all hardening, set up in your space, air conditioning, security, power supply, internet connectivity, everything. It's going to take months. And after establishing the website, say like your website got hit and it's like it has become very popular. After that, what you will be doing? Okay, I could see. Okay, just one moment, folks. Okay. Ashish was saying not able to see the screen. I hope you rejoined, Ashish. Yeah, okay, you're able to see the screen, I guess. Okay, all right. So this is about the Gartner hype cycle to show what it is about. Okay, and how where it's moving forward. Okay, and this we will discuss more in detail in the actual course. It's almost like it's an hour or two we have to discuss. Anywhere, whoever is providing the cloud, when they support these 5 attributes, say broad network access, rapid elasticity, as I was mentioning, I should not depend on the cloud infrastructure. Say I was saying, if the website becomes popular, you want to add more servers, okay, and support your load. You have to go for the management approval, procure the servers, and it's going to take months. By the time you like almost like the total business scenario itself will get changed, and I want the reaction time to be in minutes. So here, like the rapid elasticity, I can make it to auto configure. There is something called auto scaling feature, where automatically the servers will get bumped up from 2 to 4. So it will become 4 servers, and it will be serving the request. So finally, the limitation will be on the budget. So you will be setting, I don't want to, whatever the case it is, I don't want to go beyond like 20 servers because I don't have budget approval beyond 20 servers. So, but automatically it will scale up to 20 servers, and when there is no load, automatically it will scale down, and you can set the minimum like 2 servers. By that time, you will using that methodology, you will be saving some cost as well. Okay, and measured services, pay-as-you-go model. You will be paying only for what you are using it. On-demand self-service, everything it's like it's automatically configured and it's a self-service. It's a beautiful UI provided by Amazon. Let me just check. Okay, let me log in. So if you look at this is the console of okay, let it load. by the time we'll see. And service models, there are 3 different service models available. So software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. Now you guys will see lot other services available, like firewall as a service, network as a service, big data analytics as a service, database as a service. So everything will be provided as a service here. Like in cloud as such, if you consider these 3 are going to be the major stream. Infrastructure as a service is what we are going to see. It will give you compute, storage, networking, anything related to the infrastructure, you'll be getting it, and that's what Amazon gives. And platform as a service is PaaS, like Red Hat, OpenShift, Heroku. What you will be getting, you will get the platform, whether it is a .NET platform, a Java platform, or a Docker, whatever the platform that you ask for, you will be getting the platform and pay for what you are using it. And software as a service, you will get directly the software. For example, Gmail, or take Microsoft 365. Gmail, like if you are starting an organization, what you can do, you can pay $5 per email, and you can configure your personal email address, like abc at your organization name.com, right, or .in, whatever it is. For example, edureka.in, it's host through Gmail, and for every email they'll end up paying like $5 per month, and the complete robust feature what Google gives, right, the Gmail gives, the complete feature will be available. So they all are called a software as a service. One moment, folks. And cloud as such, it's a deployment model. We have like 4 different deployment models. Public cloud is what AWS is a public cloud, and that could be some legal requirements or government mandate. Few data, it should not go out to the public cloud. Okay, it should be there within the organization. Either it could be government mandate, or like the organization itself will restrict to save such data within the their own organization. In that case, they will establish their own private cloud. Okay, a few of the like VMware gives private cloud, and in open source we have something called OpenStack. There are multiple eucalyptus. There are a lot more available. Okay, all this, like, it gives the private cloud, so only that particular organization will be using it. In general, if you see the current scenario, whatever the data they want to be there within their own organization, they'll store it with the private cloud, and they'll connect to the public cloud for any data that should be go into the public cloud. Okay, they'll have very good connectivity, network as a service they'll get, and they'll connect these both. That's called a hybrid cloud. Okay, most of the organizations, it will be having hybrid cloud. And there are like something called a community cloud, where a certain group of people will come together and they'll form a cloud. It will be used only by that particular community. For example, universities, like a group of universities, they'll come together and form a cloud for their own research purpose and analytics purpose, and that would be called as that particular community cloud. Okay, and this is just some statistics to prove on how much is the growth is expected, almost like the double digit. Okay, this was the projections, like from the I think this was for the taken 2013, and this and the same growth, like it's still it's able to the cloud it's able to clock. This shows like how much amount of people are moving towards cloud, and how much is being used or utilized. And AWS is the leader as of now. Even if you look at the latest Gartner graph, AWS is almost there in the leader in terms of like executing as well as providing the facility. Excuse me. I'll give small introduction about what is AWS, overview of AWS different products, what are the products available, and AWS default it gives a free tier. I'll guide you guys through. I mean, on the actual course, I'll guide you through how to create a free account with AWS, and it's one year it's free, and it's like 1 year. When they say it's free, really it's like it's a lot of features they give free of cost. You can host a complete website 24/7 within Amazon free of cost. Okay, you can run a server of 1 GB capacity free of cost. You can do that, and we will I'll give introduction about few of the basic keywords like AMI, instances, volume, snapshot as a part of the demo. I'll be doing it. as I was explaining, whenever I need the more elastic features and pay-per-use infrastructure, I'll be using AWS. Okay. Before starting, let me just quickly check, is there any questions? Okay. Jabit, can you give real-time example on cloud advertising? When you say cloud advertising, you mean advertising analytics, or in which area, Jabit? Okay, Arvind, as an IT administrator, can I control all things with interface? Yes, Arvind. And once you create an instance, once you create a machine, the machine, you will be getting administrator access. So you can do whatever you want, whatever the software you want, you can install that. Okay, and question from Senthil. So those using OpenStack or into private cloud, you cannot tell that like those who are using OpenStack as a private cloud. Even there are some public cloud provider, they are using OpenStack at the backend. Okay, private cloud is like it's more restricted towards their own organization. Yes, Senthil? All right. And it's like it's used by one single organization. That's why if you see even here, it's mentioned as one single tenant. Public cloud, it's multiple tenant. I'll be using AWS and you will be using AWS, right? So that's the public cloud. And private cloud, it's for single tenant. Okay. All right. Thanks, Senthil. Okay. So this is it's a very beautiful diagram. Generally, in traditional way, how we will do, we will scale up our infrastructure like this blue line. Every year, I'll have a planned increasing the capacity. Right, I'll have a meeting. I'll procure the hardware, do all hardening, everything. I'll at some point of time, I'll bump up my capacity from here to here. Then here I am again increasing. But the actual demand that's marked in red color. Right, that's how it goes. So it's like still here, like it's fine, but it hit the maximum capacity at this point of time. Then at this point, like it really gone up, right? So whatever that marked in red color, right, I lost the opportunity because like at this point, the demand is this much, but my infrastructure can provide capacity only up to this much. So after that, it again will be increasing. By the time when I'm increasing, almost like the capacity has gone that time itself. So I'll be losing the customers, right? Whatever, like it's a business opportunity, I am missing it. Assume like if my infrastructure capacity also goes along with the demand, right? Like this yellow, like what I'll do, I'll provide like 20% additional capacity required than what's the actual demand. Whenever it goes up, it goes up along with the actual demand. Whenever it goes down, it will goes down along with the actual demand. By that way, I will be serving all the customers, one, and I will not be over provisioning. Say for example, here my capacity is only this much, right? But I'm over provisioning it here. All this, like it's a huge amount of capital I have spent for this infrastructure to provide, right? It's an opportunity cost that I lost. So that I can very well save it. Right? So all these problems, what AWS is going to address for us. And they have multiple regions. Now at present they have 9+1 region. When you say 9, or I should say 9+2, there are different regions available. One region is dedicated to, it's called Gov Cloud. It's dedicated to government of US and defense activities. Okay, so no one other than government of US or defense people, they can use that particular cloud. So you can assume that gives the confidence saying even the defense, they are using the AWS cloud infrastructure. That means that's the amount of trust they have with AWS. The same quality of service, we are also going to get it. So this is what we have multiple regions. Here there's another region newly got opened that was in Frankfurt in Germany. And another private or like some, it was a restricted cloud. That's another cloud in China. It was open and it's more restricted to only the companies within China. Okay, but all these other 8 regions, the 9 regions, anyone can use it. I myself can use it. So this is going to be the, so let it log in. Okay, so let it log in. And within each region we have multiple availability zones. Basically for high availability we will be using different availability zones. We'll discuss in detail about this availability zones, how it gives us the advantage of high availability, how we can leverage that. Everything we will see in detail. At any region, if you take, region is like a physical data center, you can assume, and availability zone is like within the physical data center you have like different a set of infrastructures provided in different zones. Okay, everything will be independent of each other. The zone 1 will be independent of zone 2. It's in terms of power supply, cooling, air cooling, or like the air conditioning, internet connectivity, security, everything. Even the providers, the maintenance service provider, everything will be independent of each other. So even if one zone completely goes down for any reason, the other zone will be available. Okay, so basically it will be used for high availability. So basically this is how the console looks. Okay, I'll be in the actual course I'll be assisting you guys how to sign up for this. It's a simple task. Okay, once you sign up you will have a complete console where you can use n number of services. Okay, let this page load. By the time, let me move on to the next slide. Okay, and the basic, the foremost the service that we will be using very frequently, it's called Elastic Compute Cloud. Okay, I can get instance of any size, any configuration, whatever that I want, and I can increase I can use a horizontal or vertical scaling. Horizontal scaling is adding more and more servers parallel to each other, and vertical scaling is increasing or decreasing the capacity of the server itself. Like for your laptop, if you need more RAM capacity, you will, if you have a provision for other slot, you will add more RAMs to it. If you don't have, you cannot go beyond that particular limitation. So that's the limitation with the vertical scaling. But horizontal scaling, instead of doing the work with one single server, single web server, I can have 10 web servers working in parallel and share the load. That's the horizontal scaling. Okay, and we have a number of images, like a ghost image. We have something called Amazon machine image available with Amazon. We will be using it. Okay, there is something called a marketplace where you can, for example, you want to test out HANA, SAP HANA. Okay, definitely like no one can buy a license of SAP HANA and learn it at home, but here I can just pay few cents, get SAP HANA, install it, the complete cluster depending on the size, and the licensing cost will also get included on hourly basis. Okay, that's how the calculations will be happening. So it will include the licensing cost as well. Say for example, if I use EC2 pricing, I'll quickly show that to you guys. Okay. Okay, here's where you'll see the actual pricing for different type of operating system, whether it's a Linux, Red Hat Linux, or SLES, Windows with SQL standard, or Windows with SQL web. Okay, that's loading. Let it load. And the other important service that we will be seeing, okay, there are different type of instances available. It's like on-demand, reserved instances, spot instances. Reserved instance is something like upfront you will pay some amount. For example, they'll say any mobile provider, they'll say pay $3 and use unlimited amount of local calls for that particular month. So the same way you will get well in advance you will pay, but you will pay a discounted price. Almost like 30-40% of discounted price you will be getting it. And there is something called spot instances where you will use it. You will I mean, how Amazon have designed the spot instances is like at any point of time, always like 60 or 70% will be actually utilized by Amazon. The remaining 30%, it will not be, there will not be any request. They'll be having it as a buffer. So what they thought, why don't we keep it, instead of keeping it idle, why don't we leverage it and use it and give that as an offering to the customer. So they'll say that whoever wants that particular pool of number of instances or any infrastructure, you can auction it. Okay, you can bid it, and whoever wins the bigger bid, that particular infrastructure, you will be getting it. And generally the bid price will be like 80% lower than the on-demand instances, and it's not there is no guarantee always you will have that particular instance. If someone else outbids you, the other person will be getting it. Okay, so that type of pros and cons available. Of course, like I would say, Smart Instance, like it's a beautiful thing, and there are some pros and cons. Few places you cannot use it, and few places you can use it. Okay, so all these pros, cons, how to get the Smart Instance, everything we will discuss in detail in the actual course. Okay. So if you look at the pricing, if I want instance with, there's a huge discussion we will do on what is this ECU, vCPU, everything. Assume it's like a core, number of cores within the system. Say if I have 13 core, okay, machine and 15 GB RAM and with the 240 GB SSD, I'll be paying 28 cents per hour for a Linux system. For the same Windows, MX3 large, 13 core, 15 GB RAM and 240 GB SSDs, I'll be paying 53 cents. So the remaining, whatever the difference between this Linux and this, right, that amount will go to Windows, that licensing cost for the Windows. You don't need to worry about the licensing cost. If you need with SQL standard, you can use this and you will end up paying $1.2 per hour. But if it is with SQL Web, you will end up paying 0.37. So this is what everything, this is how the pricing model is designed. And if I want to test something with the Windows operating system and SQL standard, I can just go hire system for an hour or two till I'm going to do the testing and destroy the instance, right? And there is something called EBS elastic block storage. You can compare EBS as the hard disk. Any instance that I create, I need a hard disk attached to it. If I want like more hard disk to be attached, I can create more and more volumes, like 10 GB volume and another like say 500 GB volume. Whatever the capacity I want, I can create it and I can attach it as well. Okay. And this EC2 and EBS alone, we will discuss it for like one full session. We will be discussing only about this EC2 and EBS in the actual session, and just having a glimpse on the tip of the iceberg that we are seeing. What are the functionalities that we will be seeing in the actual session? And we will discuss something about a simple storage service as well. Okay, this is basically, you can assume it like a massive FTP site or server where you can store any amount and you will pay only for what you are storing there. And it's very beautiful, and the important concept that we will be discussing, three concepts we'll be discussing: elastic load balancer, where I can load balance a number of servers whenever I want, and I'll be using very important and beautiful functionality, something called auto scaling. I can programmatically I can scale it, or on timely basis I can schedule it to scale automatically. Say for example, ticket booking website. Assume that scenario of where you're going to announce the result at 10 o'clock. Okay, you know there's going to be huge traffic at 10 o'clock. What you can do, you can increase your capacity, scheduled increase of your capacity automatically at 9:45. From like 3 servers to, you'll be increasing it to 30 servers. And what will happen? By 10 o'clock, when everyone is like hitting the servers, you will be ready with a huge massive infrastructure of 30 servers serving the request. And elastic load balancer will handle the job of distributing the load across those servers. And once everything is cools down, like everyone would have seen the result, and by the time the traffic was started going down, what you can do, you can bring down your capacity from 30 to like say 25, 20 to the actual capacity. You can bring it down. Okay, I could see someone raise the hand. Let me just check quickly. Okay, Sahil, is there any questions, clarifications you have? Could see you raise the hand. Okay, please go ahead. You can put it in the question panel, or you can, if you have Twitter, you can use the Ask Edureka handle and you can put your questions. The support team should be in a position to answer. Yes, Sahil? Or if you can wait till end of the session, you can do that. Yes, I'm mentioning about the servers. Or the physical or virtual, everything is within Amazon's, like it's a VM, virtual machine. We will be calling that as a virtual machine. Yes, Sahil, there is an option for having dedicated servers as well. It will end up to a little the costlier side, but everything works the virtual world. Yeah. the last 10 minutes I'll quickly show a simple demo. Okay. And nothing, no cloud infrastructure or any infrastructure is not complete without the security. There is a module we will be covering, something called IAM, Identity and Access Management, which will give the features of the security, where I can control the access management, authentication, everything I can control through IAM. It's very, very powerful. If you ask me why Amazon is leading this cloud, the infrastructure as a yes world, it's because of this. IAM, Identity and Access Management. It's free of cost, and I can have relational data services. If you want a MySQL database with the X number of capacity, okay, you can pay like this EC2, and you can have whatever the server, the capacity you want, you can have it. Okay. Sahil again with hypervisors. Yes, perfect, Sahil. With the hypervisors, it'll be using the hypervisors. Yes. Again, it's a huge version by itself, so that's the reason I did not mention that word hypervisor. Okay. Okay. And it's like it's internal to Amazon, so we don't need to worry about like what hypervisor, what they use, how they use it. That we don't need to worry about. Okay. You will see the pricing, like if you want DB instance type, what instance you want. Okay. You can select here whether it's a MySQL. You can check the pricing, okay, per hour, and if it is Oracle, per hour how much you will be paying. If it is SQL Server, Postgre, everything is available, ready-made. Okay, you can use whatever that you want. Okay, right. And RDS, we will be discussing it in a separate session, and one full day session will be one full session will be discussing about RDS. So whatever that we are seeing is the tip of the iceberg. Just you guys can have a glimpse on what we will be covering. And there are like list of functionalities available, which is free of cost. It's available over this particular link, where you can identify what are the things they give. So free of cost. There are like different materials and available in terms of how the different service could be used. Like it's a white paper. And another important stuff is the budgeting. Whenever you have like a huge flexibility on whatever the infrastructure that you want to use, you need to work within the budget, because any enterprise, like the final call will be on the dollars, how much amount of you want to use, how much you can utilize. So there is something called simple calculator, cost comparison, TCO, total cost of ownership, cost comparison. We'll discuss more in detail about this budgeting part, how to design your architecture, how to make your architecture so that you can have less cost infrastructure. Okay, everything we'll be discussing it in a separate session. Okay, and this is the course curriculum. It's split into 8 modules, where you will see introduction about the cloud computing, understand what cloud computing, various use cases, how it will be used, where you can use it. Then one module will discuss about EC2 and EBS. Then the module 3 mostly it will be towards the storage area, and module 4 will be working with the scaling and load distribution. Module 5 will be like on identity access management, and RDS also will discuss along with this. And module 6 we will see spectrum of services. Here, like till module 5 we'll discuss in detail about each and every module. And module 6 we'll see spectrum of services, how to leverage those services, what are the functionalities available. We'll be seeing it. Module 7 about the best practices, architecture, budgeting, all those things we'll be seeing. And module 8 we will do a final project and a quiz. That's how we'll conclude the AWS course. What I'll do, I'll quickly maybe what I can do, I can just start one instance and show that as a small demo. Yeah. All right. Senthil, there's a question from Senthil. Is it possible to automate scalability, like daytime 30 VMs and nighttime turn servers during weekdays? Yes, very well you can do that. That's why it's called auto scaling. Automatically it does. No manual intervention, nothing required. You can configure it based on the time or based on the load. All those functionalities available. It's called auto scaling, Senthil. Yeah. Alright, what I'm going to do, I'm going to launch an instance. Okay, the different operating system available, Ubuntu, Windows, different operating system available. I'll select a Linux operating system. It's a micro instance I'm going to start, which will have one core and 1 GB of memory. Okay. In the actual session, we'll discuss about these configurations. I'm just quickly moving on to how much storage I want. I want 8 GB storage in my instance. I'll just give a name to it, AWS demo, and I'll give configuration, the security configurations for this particular machine. I'll select some configurations where I'm opening the port 22 for SSH login and opening the port 80 for HTTP. I'm going to say review and launch. I'll say launch this. Okay, and I acknowledge. Let me quickly check whether I have this particular key with me. Okay, because that's more important. Else I can generate a new key. Okay, just a moment. Okay, we'll discuss about what this key, everything we'll discuss in detail. Okay, I do have. So I'm going to say I have this key so that I can log into this particular instance. What I'm going to do, I'm going to I have the commands ready so that I don't need to recreate them, okay, to save some time. Okay, this is better. So I'll go and check my EC2 instance. I'm a little fast over here. Generally in the actual things like the flipping of the screens, I don't do it this frequently, okay. And the complete demo, understanding this particular EC2, it goes for like almost like half of the session it goes. Okay, one particular complete session it goes. So what I'm going to do, I have requested a machine, a Linux machine with this particular infrastructure, the 1 GB of RAM and 1 core, and that same thing is available for 1 year. It's free. You can use it 24/7. That's 750 hours. It's free. Okay. Excuse me. It's initializing, so it should be ready in a minute or so. Okay, all right. At the same time, I'll open the question panel itself, and we have another 8 more minutes. By the time, like I can show the demo itself. Ready, get ready. And this is the IP address with which I will be connecting to this particular machine. I'll be using PuTTY SSH shell to connect to this machine. I'm just giving it a shot, whether it's able to connect or not. Yes. Yes, I am into my system, my VM virtual machine, and I have a complete control on this particular machine. I have 1 GB RAM, and I can use it for any purpose. For quick understanding, I'm going to install a small HTTP server, okay, using yum. I'll start this server, HTTP server. Okay, server is running. I'm going to edit the web.doc root, index.html in web.doc root. Okay, I'm just going to put a small content AWS demo. Okay, I'll copy this. And this is the content I added. Okay, now I can access this page and check what happens. Okay, one website, it's available now. It's like I have created a web server and it's available for anyone to use it. Okay, I'll send that link to everyone. You can just have a glance through them. Okay, it's a small static index.html, and since you have the root access, you can do whatever you want. Okay. All right. Questions? Any further questions, clarifications? You guys can write it to Amazon support. Okay, and it's the support thing. It's available over here. Okay, more details you can use this toll-free number, or you can call this, or you can drop an email. And I have some questions posted over here. I'll answer them as well. What background is required to get into AWS and cloud computing? As long as you know the basics, little amount of like very basics of Java, and some amount of like infrastructure skills. Basically, like you will end up like learning like how to leverage this infrastructures, different infrastructure. Okay, there's nothing like you don't need to learn like a huge amount of networking. No, that's not the case. Or like you have to be hardcore Java guy. No, the basics. As long as you have installed your own system, understood if you can understand what operating system is, what the hard disk. When I say mounting a hard disk, all those basic things, yes, should be sufficient. And Smack World, again, like it's a different discussion. You should be good at how to leverage mobile technologies, analytics, how to leverage the social data. All those things comes into picture. Yeah, Anupam? Okay. Roy, for auto scaling, do the instances take this long to boot? If so, is there any option for Docker containers to be used instead of VM images? Yes, Docker containers, it's very recently, like a month back, Amazon introduced, but auto scaling, it does take like 2 to 3 minutes for the instance to come up. I mean, auto scaling, when you say it's not going to be a sudden spike, it's not going to handle. Definitely, it's not going to handle sudden spike. At least it needs 2 or 3 minutes to boot up a system and add it to the do all the verifications. Internally, it does the verification and add it to the group. So it takes at least like 3 to 4 minutes, or like to be on the safer side, you can consider it as a 5 minutes, as well as like depending on what are the services you're running within that particular machine. If you're starting like huge list of services at the startup, then it's going to take even more longer duration. All right. Okay. What should be the first step for someone from IBM legacy systems background to get into AWS cloud? Okay. You can understand like how the web world works. Basically, AWS is designed to support the web world or web technologies. Okay. Most of the things are designed for web technologies. How the web technology works. Okay. Then that should be sufficient, Anupam. Okay. Alright, what should be the first step for someone from IBM legacy system background to get onto AWS cloud? Should it start from Hadoop, Mahout, or something else? Straight away, I should say like you should start with for analytics, of course, or I'll put it this way. Okay, where you are going to solve your big data problem, it will be in cloud. Okay, how you are going to solve your problem? That's going to be the Hadoop framework. It will give you a facility how you can handle such a huge or massive amount of data, and what exactly you are going to do, what logic you are going to do, that will be answered by this data science, this Mahout, all this machine learning framework or libraries. Okay, Mahout and it's analytics language. It's existing for decades. It's something like a MATLAB. okay, where it's used for statistic analytics purpose. Again, it's a different language by itself. So it depends on like how you want to get in. If you want to get in the analytics, yes, R will be a very good start point. Then you can get on to Hadoop and then Mahout. Mahout will be a little advanced concept than the Hadoop. Okay, so at least you should know Hadoop before getting into Mahout. Yeah, Anupam, I hope this answered your question. Even more detailed about the course curriculum, how the path should be, the Edureka support team should be in a position to help you. Yeah, Anupam? Right. All right, folks. I hope you all enjoyed the session. I know it's a very tough to cover like a wide spectrum of services in just 1 hour. I tried to show you at least the tip of the iceberg. There's a huge monster lying the background. Okay, we'll be discussing about them and do the demos, everything. Okay, in the actual session. And any further questions, clarifications, you can get in touch with the support team. Yeah. All right. Thank you, folks. Have a good day, good night, and see you all. Yes, Anupam, you can connect me through the LinkedIn. We'll get in touch. Yeah. Any questions, clarifications about the course, you can very well touch base with the Edureka support. They'll be helping you. Right. All right. Thank you, folks. Have a good day and good night. Thank you.